Life is not designed to hand us our future on a silver platter. You have to work for it. Like a tree needs to overcome the bugs and weeds for it to turn into a tree and grow, so do we have to undergo the same process as people. The only difference is that we don't undergo the same weeds and bugs just like plants do, but there are also things that we will need to overcome in our life in order to reach that potential future that we see in our minds. And which is why I decided to make this video where we are going to be looking at the enemies of success, common enemies. I know that the list is not limited to what I'm going to share with you today, but I'm just going to give you 10 common enemies of success. Hello and welcome to my channel. In this channel, we discuss things that help us grow, elevate, and build the life we know we are destined for. And I always say this, and I'll always say it is, if you feel that's you, then please subscribe and hop into the beginning of the most exciting and amazing journey to your elevated self. The number one enemy to success is fear. Now, let's be honest. We've had or we've all experienced fear in one form or another, where you just want to do something so bad, but then you're just so afraid to do it. Fear being judged, fear being criticized, you fear starting something and then failing, and then people talking about you, criticizing you, judging you, laughing at you, and so you decided to play small. I just want to remind you today that fear is an illusion. Fear doesn't have power outside your mind, which is why you always have to substitute your fears with positive affirmations, with positive thinking, so that it doesn't overwhelm you. You need to make sure that every time fear tries to cripple in, you overwhelm it. There are ways, just like I mentioned, there are ways which you can use to overwhelm your fears, and that is to affirm yourself every day. I am worthy, I am capable, I am going to do this. Just make sure that your brain is in the right space so that fear doesn't have power over your goals and your dreams, because fear is what kills most of dreams before they even begin. I used to suffer a lot of fear. I was so fearful before, and it wasn't until I realized that I am not just keeping things away or keeping tasks away or delaying my dreams and goals. It's because I am fearful. I fear being in front of people. I fear putting myself out there, as unready as I am, as scrappy as I am, because people are going to judge me, because people are going to laugh at me. What are people who know me going to say, seeing me online, seeing me talking like this? They're going to laugh at me. They're going to ask themselves questions, and they're going to criticize me and be like, who the hell she thinks she is? The second most common enemy to success is our environment. Now, what do I mean when I say our environment? It is where we grew up, in how we were conditioned, how we were brought up. Sometimes it's not that you grow up in a space where there were not a lot of opportunities for you to grow, but it's because it's the way you've been conditioned, your immediate family, on what's possible and what's not possible. Sometimes you say you want to do something, and they like, that is not possible. That has never been done. Who the hell do you think you are to even think of doing that thing? Ah, you're just crazy. Nothing like that happens. Who we are, this is how we do things. And what you're trying to do, maybe you're trying to bring an embarrassment into the family. You are trying to humiliate us as a family. So please stop that. Stop whatever it is that you're thinking. Go to school, get a degree, get a job, and then start a family, get married as well. So it's a lot. So you may have grown in an environment that is not nurturing. Your parents didn't even notice your interest to try and support you and try to channel you in the right direction. And so you grow up believing that life just starts and ends where you can see. There's nothing beyond that. Living in an environment of scarcity and limitations. So as much as you may be somebody who is a dreamer, somebody who is a visionary, somebody who wants to do things, but your environment will always bring you to where it is. Just like they say, your environment, either your environment will change you or you will change your environment. So if you choose to stay in an environment that is not nurturing to your goals, that is not allowing you to grow, you will shrink yourself so that you fit in that environment. So your environment, that is why they always say change your environment. Sometimes it's now. The third one is my favorite because it is most common. I used to use this one a lot, and that is excuses. Excuses are so nice. Excuses feel so comfortable. There's something that excuses hold, that just gives us that comfort and that safe space for us, where you just like, it's not happening because of this and this and that. It's not happening because of where I was born into, because my family are not supportive, because I was not born into a rich family or a wealthy family. I just don't have anything. It's all the reasons why we are unable to do certain things, and we use excuses. We use our excuses, which are reasons, and they are valid because they sound valid to you, the person who is making them. So they are our warm blanket that we use to cover ourselves so that we sleep better at night, and so that we don't hold ourselves accountable for why we are not doing certain things, why we're not evolving, why we're not growing. We are often blaming a lot of things. We're blaming the economy. We are blaming that we do not have connections. I do not know anybody. But if you are to ask a person, what are you doing to ensure that you reach your goals? It's very rare that you're going to find somebody pushing and doing what they need to do. Because the number one thing is to get things done is to start where you are with what you have, while you keeping your mind and your heart open to learning, and also to put yourself out there in the world and pray, and not just praying, but just know that somebody is going to discover you, that you are going to fall into the right eyes and into the right heart, because it only takes 1 year and then everything changes. But if you're not doing anything, if you are not trying to change a situation, and you are not doing all that you can and leave what you can't to God, things are going to remain the same. And just remember, excuses are deceptive. They provide comfortability but not responsibility. And they allow us to sleep better at night without feeling any guilt or shame of not doing what we are supposed to do and doing what we know we should be doing. And I want you to know that either you have excuses or you have progress, but you can't have both. You need to choose. If you choose your excuses, then you are not going to progress in life. But if you choose progression over your excuses, that is where difference is going to come. Fourth one is our comfort zone. We love staying in familiar environments, in familiar spaces. We do not want to expand and just to widen ourselves, because that is uncomfortable. And uncomfortability will make you think that you are not worthy, will make you think that whatever it is that you're trying to do is just useless. But you need to remember that no growth happens in comfort. You need to get out of your comfort zone. You need to put yourself out there. If you want to start a business, you need to put yourself out there in front of people and tell them that I am selling this product, I am selling these services. Please support me. This is what I'm providing to you. And that is when you are going to grow and be discovered. You're going to grow through uncomfortability. When you start that YouTube channel and you are not getting any views, maybe you are starting out, your first video is the worst video ever, and I don't know how many videos are going to be your worst videos, but it's going to just be horrible. It's going to feel cringe. You're going to record a video and don't want to watch it, but going to have to edit that video, so you need to listen to yourself. You don't even like the way that you sound, you don't like your voice, everything is just messy. But in that messiness is where you're going to grow. I used to use a lot of fillers when I started, but now I can just continue and go on speaking without using any fillers. And this was not going to happen should I have stayed in my comfortability and thinking. The fifth most common enemy of success is our mindset. Now, this is where everything starts, and I think I should have made this the number one enemy, and that is our mindset. As within, so is without. Law of correspondence, I love that law because it just puts everything into perspective. Everything that is happening on the outside is as a result of what's happening on our inside, on our mind, how we think of ourselves, how we perceive ourselves, and how we believe to be our own truth, and how we believe to be the truth about ourselves, about our capabilities, and everything else that we perceive to be the truth about life in general. How many times have you talked yourself out of something before you even begin? That is why they always say that don't spend so much time thinking, because the more you think, which is procrastination, it's the more that you're going to find the reasons why you can't start, the reason why it's not going to work. You are opening a gap so that your mind can fill that gap with everything that can possibly go wrong. Nobody even has to come and tell you otherwise. You already talk yourself out of things. That is why they always say, if you want to do something, validate yourself first, qualify yourself first, tell yourself that you can do it, believe in yourself first. Everything that you want in the world, you have to make sure that you give it to yourself first, because you will not get that which you are not, but we always get who we are. So it is us projected. What we give out is what is coming in. If we're giving out negativity, negativity is going to come back. So it's very important. The moment I learned that the most powerful thing I have, the most powerful and most precious asset that I have is my mind, everything changed for me. Change your mindset and watch your life change right in front of your eyes. A man think in his heart, so is he. So whatever it is that is true in your mind, it's also showing in your reality. It's also showing on your outside. If you're not confident, people are going to see that you're not confident. If you doubt yourself, people are going to see that you doubt yourself. If you are somebody who doesn't believe that you're worthy, it's going to show. You are not going to go after opportunities because you feel you don't qualify, because you think you're not worthy. It's for certain people and not me. Just remember, qualify yourself before anybody else can qualify you. Now, the one that I'm about to mention now is something that I've been suffering for a long time, and that is perfectionism. God, I have been suffering from perfectionism for as long as I can remember, thinking that everything needs to be perfect, thinking that in order for me to start recording videos, I need to live in this beautiful aesthetic apartment, I need to have aesthetic wardrobe, I need to always come in recording my videos and having done my hair, wearing my weaves, and making sure that everything looks perfect, until I realized that perfectionism is another form of procrastination. And I just did a video before this one. You can go and check it out, where I'm talking about how perfectionism held me back. I would have started this a long time ago, but because I thought that things need to be perfect, because I was comparing myself to people who have been doing this for the longest time, and now they come out, they are fully fresh, they are fully formed, and everything looks perfect, and forgetting that they also started from zero. They may be on their chapter 20, but they had to go through all the chapters, chapter 1, 2, 3, up until 20, before they can be perfect. You just need to start. It doesn't matter what you have, what you don't have. You are going to get all those things that you do not have as you move along, as you learn, as you keep doing something. Most common enemy to success, it almost links to the previous one, which is perfectionism, and this one is waiting for the right time. God, waiting for the right time. We often think that there's going to be a right time. There's never a right time. There's never a right moment. There is absolutely never the right moment. There's never going to be a time where everything is so perfect for you to start. There's always going to be the reason why you can't start. You can't start because you've just had your child. And now, where are you going to leave your child? Who's going to look after your child? You can't start your business because you do not have enough funds. You can't start your YouTube channel because you don't have the right equipment. You're not living in a nice space. You don't have the right or the aesthetic environment for you to start taking these videos. There is always a reason. You can't start speaking and putting yourself out there because this and this and this is missing. So there's never a right time. All you need to do is to just start and figure things out along the way. And if you do fail and you discover that something is not for you, that is fine. But you'll never know if something is for you or not for you if you do not start. The only way to discover that is to just start. The most common enemy to success is lack of discipline. Starting and not finishing what you've started. Not keeping yourself in the game long enough to find out if things are going to work out or not. Stopping at just one glance of impossibility or one glance of failure, and already we've made up our mind that this is not going to work. You start going to the gym first day, second day, and then your body is so sore, and you're like, this is not for me. Going to the gym is so painful. I can't do this. This is torture to my body. Forgetting that in order for you to get that dream body, you're just going to have to go to the gym, even when you do not feel like it. If you build enough discipline is going to come up and fill that void and fill that space where if you don't feel like doing something, you still do it anyway, because that is what discipline is. It is building enough resilience so that when motivation fades and when the energy that you started off with goes down, your discipline kicks in and it keeps you going. And there's a question that I like using in terms of discipline, and that is, are you committed or are you interested in your goals? Because if you are interested. You're only going to do things when you feel like doing them, which is the opposite of being disciplined. You're going to come up with excuses why you stopped, why you couldn't do it, why you couldn't start. Whereas if you are committed, you are going to do things even when you don't feel like doing them. You are going to quit the excuses and you're going to build that focused mindset that I am doing this. Yes, I am failing. Yes, things are not coming together, but I know my vision. I know where I want to go, and I'm committing to that. There's this one phrase that I love using a lot, and that is commit to the plan and never look back. To twinkle here and there, you may need to pivot to the left or pivot to the right, but as long as you keep your eye on the ball, you keep your eye on the prize, you are going to keep going. You are going to push yourself until you realize whatever it is that you've seen in your mind and whatever it is that you've started, and commit yourself to ensure that you see. Another thing that is contributing to our lack of discipline is not building the right habits. Yes, habits. And that's a topic for another day. Our habits. You say you want something, but your habit says the complete opposite. You say you want to lose weight, but then every time you see a chocolate or you see ice cream, you go and you buy ice cream. Whenever you feel like having a chocolate, you buy a chocolate. You need to build that discipline that no, I'm not having chocolate. Instead, I'm going to have a protein bar. You're substituting your bad habit with a good one that is going to take you where you say you want to go. The ninth one is having no vision. From my early 20s up until my mid late 20s, I didn't have a vision. I didn't have a clear vision as to where I wanted to go, where I wanted to be in my life. I didn't have a vision, but I was daydreaming, dreaming of having a good life, dreaming of having a good house, driving a nice car, working. But I didn't have a clear vision as to this is what I want. This is how I want my life to play out. Remember, without a vision, we die. Without a vision, we perish. That is why it's so important to have a vision of where you want to go, because it's going to drive what you do daily. It's going to contribute on how you conduct yourself and the things that you spend most of your time doing. Because if you're spending most of your time doing things that are the opposite of where you want to go, then you are simply daydreaming. If your vision is not clear, the how is also not clear of how you're going to get there. If your vision is vague, also the plan is going to vague. Also the things that you do are just going to be, you're just going to be living and hoping. It's almost like going through the day with your fingers crossed, hoping for something to happen, but you're not doing things that are going to allow those things to happen. And the last one that I'm about to mention now is very personal. It's very hard. You need to be somebody who has committed themselves, who has done this a couple of times before you can overcome this enemy of success, and that is our past. We love living in our past because this is something that we know, instead of creating our future, which is when you create your future, you are building something, you are creating a picture out of the unknown. So we like referencing our past, our horrible past mostly. It's so rare that somebody will reference their good past, even though your good past, it's not only your horrible, uneasy past that is going to hold you back, but it's also your good past. Some people were born into a rich and wealthy family, and today they are the most poor people you've ever met. They're doing horrible in life. Life just did its thing, and now they can't even find their way back up. They can't get themselves out of that. And so they so stuck in their beautiful past that life is so unfair. This is where I am, and I just cannot move past this. And some of us use our horrible past, the mistakes that we've made, and we are reliving those events, those things that happened to us in a way that we don't see a way forward. We can't move past them. Somebody told me, and this is so profound, they said, forgive yourself of your past mistakes. You are no longer the same person. There are things that you didn't know then that you know now. Think about your past as something that has already happened, but most importantly, you need to bring yourself to sit yourself down. Ask yourself, what did I learn? What did this event What did this event try to teach me? The moment you learn the lesson from something that happened and something that you did is the only way that you're going to be able to move past it and just leave it behind and continue building your life, living in the present while you are building your future. And just remember that it's very important that you focus on the now, because today you are creating your past, because tomorrow. And just like that, we've come to the end of our video. I really hope that it has resonated with you. Please share in the comment section which of these enemies of success are you suffering from, that you are battling with, because the most important thing is for you to discover and for you to be aware which one is really holding you back, which one do you need to overcome. And the moment you find that, that is when you're going to be able to also fight it. Remember, you can't change that which you don't know. So it's very important that you are aware of things that are holding you back. And in order for you to do that, you're going to need to be very honest with yourself. So I hope it has resonated with you. Please just leave a comment, or you can leave a heart emoji, give it a thumbs up, or share it with somebody who may find it useful. And I certainly hope to see you on my next video.